So you did the 5-day. You did the 5-day retreat. And then things were intense.
Yes, they were.
And now only a month later, we're here for 2 days.
Yeah.
How was your journey last night?
Well, how candid can I be?
You can be as candid as you want.
Okay. It was fucking crazy. It's like the lessons of the medicine. I think I'm saying normally I come out with a real sense of clarity and normally I go in with an intention, and a meaningful intention. This time I didn't because I've just been feeling so confused about life. And I thought I would just let the medicine tell me what I need to know. And I'm finding it hard to articulate, and found it very hard to articulate what I needed. So that was one of the lessons, I think, was that I find it hard to articulate what I need in general. And so that's one thing. I couldn't, last night I basically had a bathroom experience. It was like full on, I was gonna go to that place where your ego is gone and you can't really, you're starting to dissipate into the ether. So, that's uncomfortable, and or at least I think it's uncomfortable. Anyway,
it sounds uncomfortable.
Your ego fights to not do it. Like your ego definitely, once you've been there, or at least my ego,
sure.
My ego's not like
owning it.
Yeah, my ego is fights to not go there, sure. And so between that and then kind of just feeling like all this stuff happening in my stomach. I found myself in the bathroom, and then I found myself.
That sounds kind of holy. Like I found myself.
Yes.
I found myself in the bathroom.
Yes. I don't know if I found myself in the bathroom. Still picking up those pieces, but I situationally found myself in the bathroom with a team of people trying to help me.
It's nice that there's a team.
There was a team. The door was open. People were there trying to help me navigate like my purging. I took care of the shitting part of it. That was on me.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you. It's always a pleasure when you can just make it to the bathroom. So I did that, and I just couldn't conceptualize leaving that space for quite a while. Meanwhile, my ego is fighting to not go places, and I'm saying, help me to Artemis, and Artemis is asking me what I need, and just asking me questions, and I just full on couldn't talk. And sort of probably like a little bit bitchy, like, I don't know, you tell me what I need, kind of like trying to get everyone else to decide because I couldn't articulate it and probably didn't know.
Sure.
And
maybe there wasn't actually a concrete answer either.
Maybe.
Like, what else? Like, what can anyone really do at that point?
Yeah. And I don't know how long I was there. It felt like at least an hour. It maybe was longer, maybe shorter. And then there was this moment when I realized that it's always like that with Aya. Like, you're there and it's full on, and then all of a sudden you're not, and you just realize you're not there anymore. And usually that's once you're done kicking and screaming, or in my experience, like once you're done kicking and screaming about it, and then you just accept where you are, then all of a sudden things get a bit like different. But I have to say, this journey, I visually was like off the fucking hook. I was light in color. And then like once I was done, I didn't have a gradual like come out of that. It was like really like I blew my load like in the bathroom. Like it was like oh my God. So I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay. I think like when everything that I did for the 5-day journey, I'd say like was hitting me pretty hard on the emotional scale. Mm-hmm. And it's really weird. This one isn't emotional, but I don't know what it is. Physical and spiritual. I don't know. Can't quite put my finger on like what this ride was. So, yeah.
Right. Experiential.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, am I alive? Like, am I me? Like, yeah, I think there was some ego, like there was some chipping away at the ego for sure. Yeah.
Okay. And it's 1 year now? This is 1 year that you've been coming to ceremony?
My first ceremony was in June.
June of 2018 and it's August 2019.
Yeah. So this is a year since my second.
A year since your second. And how has your general mood and, emotional and mental self changed since that first time?
Well, that's a big question.
I'm all about the big questions.
No, thank you. I feel like this, the thing is, it kind of blows open the parts of yourself that, for me, has blown apart like things that I hide from myself. And like, I have lots of ways that I run away from feeling things, especially, and I just got all these like dark pockets all through myself. So I has been really good at like in first, like she was really nice and just like helped me find some bliss and helped me find, I felt like, I don't know, like blew open my chakras and like cleaned them out or something, like a tune up. And I was like, just like all like into my body again and feeling like really happy and connected to the universe. And, that's kind of how it started out. But then as I feel like that's how she got me. Sure. Yeah, she lured me in.
She showed you where you could get to.
Yeah.
And now she's showing you the work that needs to be done to get there, sort of thing? Is that how you describe it?
Like, yeah, so now she's kind of like showing me everything I ask for, that I really feel like I want to solve. And then, I find things like the pit of unending grief.
The pit of unending grief, what does that mean?
Accessing a part of myself that is grief, and it is always there, and it is a part of me. I don't exist without it. And knowing that it's always there and actually accessing, like being there, is pretty dark, pretty heavy. But finding a way to like accept that part of yourself is pretty important because it's you or me. It's always there, and there's so much sadness and grief in it, because that's, part of being human, I guess. It's definitely part of being me, but I think that I've definitely, I struggled with massive depression, so I've definitely tried to like never be there, and never sit in that, and never, I avoid it at all costs, but like it's there, and kind of like loving it or working with it or acknowledging it is super important, or at least it's helped me. But it's also just like opened up Pandora's box of like all of my like other things.
There's a lot to, it's a lot of material there.
Yes. It's, a lot to work with.
And how has the depression changed since the first ceremony for you?
I mean, I struggled with depression when I was young, really badly, because I had no skills. And that was like a 7-year journey. And that's also probably like when I was like 25, that kind of, I tackled that. And then like I never thought it would ever come back, or like I never thought I would struggle with it again. Like obviously I get sad and like depressed, but like depression, like the monolithic like depression. And then
something crushing.
Yeah, like I don't know how to get through this. I'm not okay. Like it's not just like I'm gonna sit in my room for a week. It's like I literally don't think I'm gonna get through this. So that level of depression, I just kind of thought I had tackled it. And then in 2017, I got hit with it super, super strong. And it was like, I wasn't suicidal or anything because I kind of have like tackled that, but I was not okay, like really not okay. And I started doing Aya just as I was coming out of that. And how does I guess Aya is just sacred. Like it's showing you the sacredness of life. It's showing you like how alive you are and all of the part of the whole that you are, and showing you like how in many ways your potential and your potential to connect with everything,
or to see how you're connected with everything.
Yeah. And I think that it's just like I've actually been pretty depressed the last couple weeks, and it's just, but I've not been dark. Like it's just been like oh, this is hard, Sure. So I can't say that I will never get depressed again. Mm-hmm. I just feel a level of sacred connection with everything, and that kind of goes into ceremony and understanding that I'm connected to ancestors, and there's knowledge keepers and people who have been bringing this through, and there's people who have been fighting to bring this knowledge through, and it's it's way next level higher purpose. It's hard to just not believe that you're worth anything when you're playing with this level. It's just so sacred. It's such an honor to do it. It's such an honor to be part of it. And yeah, it just makes me feel like it's a little, I have a responsibility.
What do you see your responsibility as being?
I feel to help the earth, I guess, is a big one. To help land defenders, knowledge keepers, Indigenous people, pretty strong impulse to help those people, to help the next generations, to just basically continue to help people in my immediate life. We're all struggling, just we're in a really fucked up dream of a system right now, and everyone's just panicking how to get through it. And I feel because I've had this medicine, I can extend what I'm learning, even if, I've got friends, they would never do this, just would never do this. But I can still help them or engage them or have good conversations with them.
Right. Have we talked about Joseph Campbell before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of, in his cycle of a journey, of the hero's journey, you go out and you have these adventures, the hero, the protagonist, which in your story is you, going out and having these adventures and learning these things and then bringing it back to the village.
Right.
And being able to share it with your village, like, hey, I figured out we can actually do it like this. And if we do it like this, we'll have better outcomes.
Yeah.
Even so, the people in the village, they don't need to necessarily go on some big heroic experience, but they can still receive the benefit.
Yeah. And like, I'm pretty big into community, as you know, like, and like nurturing community. And I believe actually in like that, like the survival, the village survival, like it does take a village kind of thing. We're not getting out of here alone. Like, so, I was really centered me on that as well. Like, and how the community, the village is sacred, and it is my responsibility to help nurture that as well. It like, at least that's the clarity that I have gotten from her.
Cool. So what would you say to someone who was interested in Aya, interested in ceremony, interested in healing with plants, what wisdom would you impart to them?
Well, I don't know about wisdom. The more I do Aya, the less wise I feel. But it's not a light path. It's not a light, airy-fairy, hippie. Like, you're kind of opening a lid you cannot close, I guess.
What does that mean? Or what does that mean to you?
It means that I don't think you can go back. Like, you can't, once you've gone to this side of, what do you call it, the veil or whatever,
sure.
You can't really ever go back.
Right.
And that can have some major, like, that is work. And like, that is.
Once you know, you can't unknow. Is that what you're saying?
I guess, yeah. And like with yourself too, like once you start undigging yourself, like, like I'm realizing, for example, that I have massive like attachment issues and stuff like that. And like, now I have to work on that, like,
right.
It's like, I can't just, watch a shitty show, get stoned and watch a shitty show now. Like, I have to fucking go tackle this.
It's like, gotta do the inner work.
I gotta do it, because otherwise, like, I know what I need to do. I'm really wanting to fix myself and I have to go do it. So it's like, you don't get to do Aya and then be lazy, I don't think, or at least I don't, like, it's not my experience that like I can just coast on like, love and light.
Right.
there's a very like there's a bunch of stuff just churning inside that's like now getting kicked up, and like all the dust is getting kicked up, and like I've got to like fucking deal with it all. So like I'm like reading a lot more, and like like just writing a lot more, like, but just in my journal, not like articles or anything like that. Sure. So it's just
reflecting.
Yeah, and and just I quit drinking this year just to kind of like what value is this really giving me? It turns out not much, but like these just like life changes that, and people are like, that's so brave, and I'm like, literally, like if you had, like, it wasn't brave, it was what I knew I had to do. It was clear. And so if you like your, like, so I tell someone if they're doing it, if you like your safe, like, I don't think you go to the Aya path if you just want to be happy, or just like,
or if you want to stay blissfully ignorant, I
guess. Yeah. Like you don't just go that path if you want to be love and light, and you want to like.
Yeah. By that, do you mean sort of like skating across the surface of things?
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. I just want to be clear. I just want to make sure I understand.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think unless you want to get like, this shit gets messy, like messy in a big way. Like last night, messy. So you just like, if you're not up for that, and some of my friends aren't, they're like, you lost me at purging,
Right.
And I'm like, oh,
the purge, the physical purge is not that much compared to like what you have to confront emotionally.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like, literally that's the least of your worries.
You think throwing up in a bucket is bad? Just wait until you start thinking about your parents and your relationship with your family, and like working through that layer of like family of origin sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's messy.
Yeah.
Puking in the bucket is actually kind of a non-issue comparatively.
It's actually quite pleasurable by the time it happens.
It is surprisingly pleasurable. Yeah. It's not like when you have a flu. It is pleasurable.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess. And then I guess what else would I follow the dieta?
So
Prepare. The times that I prepare the best, I have the most. Now I prepare very well, or quite well. Very well last time, quite well this time. But yeah, I'm pretty, like, I realize that's important and like really important. And I don't want to waste it. Like one time I did not prepare very well, and that was I still had a journey, but like that was my least interesting journey.
Okay, cool. What was it in the prep that you did not do that you feel you should have done, or that would have been beneficial?
I took some recreational things that I had forgotten the weekend before, and I was out and I recreationally indulged in some things that I was not supposed to.
Okay.
And I realized too late.
Wait a second, ceremony's next weekend.
Yeah. And I was fairly new to,
right.
It was like my third ceremony or something like that. Fortunately, that ceremony ended up being really crazy in its own right. So,
which one was that?
That was the Divine Mother ceremony.
Oh yeah.
So
a lot of
there was a lot that happened.
Big happenings.
Yeah.
Big energy.
It was
big energy.
Less like in my personal like experience and more in the group scenario, which is another good point too, is that I didn't get that. I don't know if I said this last time, but I didn't get that this was going to be a group thing when I first did it. This is not a thing I would tell a new person. So I thought I was going to come in and I was going to like have my journey, my personal journey on my own, deal with my shit. And I was really like set myself up for that. So I would call myself when I first came in almost like a little bit like, not standoffish, but like I just kind of like was really prepared for that. And I didn't get that this was a group thing that we all did together. Like I knew that we were all going to be in the same room with our buckets, but I didn't get that this is actually a group experience.
Right.
And like
we're going on this journey together.
Yeah, like it's really, really like a community thing. And it's really like, when you're going on these journeys, especially people who have done it, we help each other through it. We help sort each other out and we support each other in it. And we feel like I really believe that we like there's like a collective whole journey. There's actually a macro journey. And so I never got that. Like it took me until the morning after my first journey that I was like, wait a second. And that like flipped me over to this like really like reaching out and like feeling close to these people that I didn't know, but now I feel closer to than like a lot of people. So yeah.
When they first were studying it, I think when they were studying the vine in the jungle, they originally called the compound in it telepathine.
Oh, yeah.
because they observed how there were very difficult to explain in rational terms connections between the indigenous people that were journeying with it. They were having, without communicating verbally, they were having very, very, very similar experiences and seeing the same things, and able to go to the other side and retrieve information and then independently bring that information back.
Right.
And so you'd have, a group of people who could all individually, without corroborating each other, say, there's this going on, there's this going on, there's this going on, and things like that. And so they observed extraordinary group connectedness playing out to the point where they thought it might be telepathic.
Right. Well, yeah. And like,
I mean, let's be honest, it certainly seems telepathic.
Yeah. I definitely feel like there is a group, we're connected. And like, we feel connected after. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a level of connection that's very indescribable to the initiated of this. Like, it's
hard to describe that type of feeling of connection.
Yeah, like this level of connection. I mean, it's really, I don't know. I don't have kids, so maybe it's like that. I don't know, but it's a really strong bond.